You're gonna see all those tillage tools in one video right now. Let's go. Wait, you guys gotta come. So I'm on my way to our local dealer, Swiderski Equipment, puts on what they call tillage days, which is pretty awesome because they bring all these tillage tools in one place in the same conditions, hooked up to some really nice tractors, and you can jump in them, go try them, walk out in the field, look at the job they do, and kind of really help you make decisions based off of what you're looking for as an operator and as an end result. So it's super awesome what they do, and I'm fortunate enough to go there and check them out, put them all together in this video for you. So if you're trying to make a decision based on some of these brands and the different tillages that are out there, especially these high-speed implements, hopefully this helps you guys out and you can make your decision a little bit easier. So we're gonna head over there now and I look forward to it. All right guys, the first one we're gonna look at here is a brand new Kuhn Accelerator 8010. And I'm not sure the width on this guy. Jason's gonna be coming up here from Kuhn and he's gonna let us know more about this machine, but it looks pretty impressive. Very, very heavy built, and I'm excited to get in the cab of this guy. It's going to be pulled by a T8. Let's see what model this is. This is a T8 435, and I know that's the biggest T8 that they make, and I'm sure it's going to take all of that. All right, this is Jason from Kuhn Krause, and he's going to tell us a little bit about this brand new Accelerator 8010. So
yeah, well, excellent. Well, today we've got the brand new 8010 Accelerator. It was an upgrade from the 8005, so we've added a little more gang angle to the system, so we can go from the 1 degree. We used to, the previous models went from 1 degree to 5. With the XT on here, we're actually adding a little additional gang angle. So that's going to give us a much more aggressive mixing of that soil profile. So if you've got heavier residue that you need to incorporate, or if you've got some ruts or some things like that. Traditionally, we want to stay in that less than 8 because we are a vertical tillage machine. Vertical tillage is a challenging definition, but we want to make sure that we're doing the appropriate amount of tillage or residue management and seedbed preparation for your operation. So the machine has great versatility in that to be able to do that. So we pick and choose the appropriate gang angle and pressures to make sure that we're getting a very good consistent job and a very good consistent seedbed for the spring of the year. Yeah,
that's really nice, really versatile to be able to slide things and move it on the fly, I would
exactly.
So.
And like where we're at here today, there is a fair amount of stone around, and we are very, very durable. The machine, the blade, this Excalibur blade that we have, it's a 32 flute blade. We talk about the wear characteristics of this blade are, it wears down much like a Coulter, so it's very, very consistent, great wear life, but the durability, I haven't found anything that will compare to it. You know, here with these little bit of stone, you'll just bang it and go through and just keep it rolling.
Yep. And what size blades are
so these are
on this one?
These are a 22-inch blade. So they'll run for a lot of acres. Acres are very subjective till they're wore out. So I always tell people they'll stay sharp right up till they're wore out.
Okay, which is really nice. Yeah. So what do we got here?
So the coil harrows on this machine are really going to help feather out any of the and meter out the residue. So if you've got an area that has a little bit higher spot, whether it's a point row or you had to stop the combine for something, if you've got a large quantity of residue, it'll just help feather that out. So you've got, again, just a good consistent distribution of that residue.
That's really nice.
So,
and then moving to the back here, I know this is kind of like Kuhn's.
So
these star wheels here.
The star wheels, so the star wheels will rotate this way. We run hydraulic pressure, so we have active hydraulic pressure on there. It's adjustable. In the fall of the year, we run less pressure. And the reason we run less pressure is we're not trying to create that seed bed.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is just anchor that residue in. So a little less pressure, we'll remove the pressure off of our basket as well by just moving the pins into the upper hole.
Okay.
So that keeps as much weight on the blades as possible. Still get a nice anchoring, so we've got we're less susceptible to blowing with this. In the spring of the year, we crank that pressure up a little bit. Maybe you do about 500 psi. That helps make a very consistent seed bed. So we've got smooth on the surface. We got a smooth tillage depth, so that planter isn't encountering different densities there. So
what about maintenance on something like this? I was looking, I couldn't find any grease certs.
These machines are built to eat acres. It's really built for uptime. We run Pure Till Extreme bearings. They're a sealed bearing. On all of them. So the gangs, the star wheels, and the rolling baskets all have a sealed bearing. Should have excellent wear characteristics on that. All of the pivot points are hardened pins and hardened bushings. So no real daily grease zerks there. There are some zerks on the hydraulic gang adjust. We typically say a season or two on those. That's not an everyday thing. And the most grease point on the entire machine is the hitch length. We run what's called a power pull hitch length. It's got a 40-hour sticker on it. I typically recommend people put grease in that when they fuel the tractor. Really nice positive hitching point, so we're following that field very well, not putting any stress on the hitch and the implement. So
the maintenance is huge. I mean, just not sit out here every morning and take 45 minutes to grease the machine is a big deal.
When you're ready to go to work, you just go to work. Check it over, make sure you got tire air in the tires and everything else, and away you go.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get this thing out in the field. We had the gang angle set to 5 here, 5 degrees. This would be like a typical fall. So you can see it does a really nice job of mixing residue and soil together here. Really nice. And look at the size of this residue. I mean, it's down to a couple inches, 5-6 inches. And we got root balls that are turned up.
In this spot, like right here, where you can see all this soil kind of mixed in, this is kind of what I really look for, because like tomorrow morning when we've got frost, or if we got a heavier dew, this all kind of just flattens out. And then that starts to really decompose that residue. So then you end up really kind of degrading that residue over the winter season here, and then when come back in the spring, a lot of that's gonna just be back into the soil.
And in the springtime, would you hit it at 8 degrees?
Probably not. Probably not. It's really the aggressiveness of the machine is really determined by what you want to see behind it. If the customer says, hey, I'm happy with, I want to be real aggressive, you've got that ability, but we don't have to be. So like I said, some guys are going to look at it from the standpoint, we're just trying to make that planter perform better. And if we can go through and do that without having to be super aggressive, that's less dollars per acre that they're spending to get it there.
Let's take a look at this 8 degree, and that made it a little blacker. So if you're looking for something just a little bit blacker, this is the 8 degree difference here. Again, everything's mixed in really nicely. What's the depth set at, Jason?
Depth is very subjective on these machines. I don't typically worry about depth. I'm going to say we're probably a good 3 inches.
Probably this is like the bottom here.
More. So we do set the machine a little different for fall operations than we do for spring, because we don't have a lot of pressure on those star wheels. Those star wheels help incorporate or mix that soil much more aggressively when we're doing seedbed operations. So.
Oh, looks great. Really nice machine.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem. No problem.
Next on the list, guys, is our Degelman Pro Till, and we have Cody here from Swiderski to tell us all about it.
You bet. So this is our 26-foot model. So with the pull types, they offer all the way from 41 foot down to 20 foot. And then they also just recently released the 3-point model that will go down to, I believe, 12 foot. So the biggest thing with any of these high-speed discs is we need speed in order to make this system work. We're trying to shoot for about 9.5, 10 miles an hour. Is what our speed is. So obviously we need some horsepower to pull this up. So,
and I believe, is that a T9 565?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, yeah, it's a big horse.
It is, definitely.
Yeah.
So with this unit, we've got the rubber packing wheels on the back side. They do have the option to do a rolling basket as well with different spacings too. They offer basically 3 different press type of wheels on the back side here. The nice thing with the rolling basket is it's got the nice clean outs on there. So today it is a little bit moist out here. We've got some rain in the forecast, so it's a little tacky, but these rubber packing wheels are actually cleaning out very well. You can see this machine is covered in dirt, and that's kind of the name of the game with this high-speed disc. We want to be throwing dirt and covering that residue, making sure that it's doing a nice job with that. As far as the disc options go, you can get the smooth disc on both gangs basically, or else you can do one of each like this is, or 2 spikes on there. So you can kind of order it however you want to. Nice thing is these are all non-serviceable bearings, so everything's sealed. Shouldn't really have to worry about it too much. So,
what about depth control?
So depth control is all controlled up front there on the main cylinders up there. There's just spacers that you can take in or out. So when we were setting this up across the road, that was in a no-till oat field. So we were about 4 spacers. We had to remove 4 spacers when we went into this heavy corn residue field here.
Sure.
So just to get a little bit more penetration, get that dirt to try to cover up some of these stalks.
Absolutely.
So,
well, I'm pretty excited to get in here and let's try this thing out, and we'll get out and we'll walk behind it and kind of see what it all does here, so people can get a good idea of what these tools can do. So
you bet.
I believe this looks like this one has 20-inch blades.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, and they have different options of blades, I believe.
Correct, yeah. 20 seems to be the most popular.
Okay.
But yes, they do have some different options for blade sizing too. So.
Okay. All right, well, let's get this guy out and let's see what it can do. Okay, so we're just behind a Pro Till here. This was set to 4 inches in pretty heavy corn residue, I would say, Cody.
Correct.
So, and you can see this mixes really well, berries really well for fall breakdown, and it basically destroys the entire soil profile, whatever that machine's set to. So.
The nice thing too, you look across the whole pass, everything is pretty level. We don't have a lot of them ridges out there either, so when we come back in with our spring tillage before planting, it should level out beautifully and be like planting in the glass.
Sure. Yeah, looks really nice. Here you can see what Cody was talking about before. It's pretty damp out here. I mean, the mud's kind of sticking to my shoes, you know, the soil is, and this rubber roller is clean as can be. So, and like I said, that was set to about 4 inches, and it's doing a really nice job.
Definitely.
So, all right, thanks, Cody.
Yep, you betcha.
Appreciate your time.
No problem.
All right, so the next one we're going to look at is the Great Plains Qualidisc, I think they call it. And this happens to be the 20-foot model. And I'm just waiting for Kevin over there from Swiderski. He's going to help us out with this. He knows a lot more about it. But this is also a like short disc, if you want to call it that. It looks like it has notch blades on the front and on the rear. It has a really nice harrow right in between here, and a nice steel heavy-duty rolling system back there to probably press that air out of the ground and keep everything firm. So. And I know this one is pulled by a New Holland T8 350. And like I said, this is 20 foot. And we'll go over everything with Kevin as far as maintenance and stuff like that. So it looks like a really nice unit. We're here with Kevin from Swiderski, and he's going to talk about the Qualidisc from Great Plains.
What we have here is a 20-foot Qualidisc. We have 22-inch blades. Great Plains high-speed disc. We've run it out here probably seen some video of it running over there. Narrow transport, very low maintenance, greaseless bearings. Depth control is very simple. Number of wedges, front and rear, you can change it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a nice heavy-duty machine.
It does a really nice job for what it is.
Yep.
Probably a cheaper option than the Degelman for someone that wanted to get into one that maybe not as large farm.
Absolutely.
They offer them up to 23 feet, and I believe they go down to 12 feet. So it's an option for that smaller farm if they want it.
Sure. Well, I'm excited to get in this thing, and let's get in it and see what it can do, and how fast we can pull it. So,
Sounds good.
Ready? All right, so this is what it looks like behind that Qualidus by Great Plains. We are going approximately 9 miles an hour, 9.5. And this does a really nice job also of mixing in that residue, leveling off the field. Yeah, I can't make out any corn rows anymore. It was set to about 3 inches deep, it looked like. Does a really nice job for what that tool is. So I really like seeing all these tools and what they do. So that's what it looks like. All right, guys, we got Reese from New Holland here.
Yep.
And we are in a brand new New Holland T8410
Yep.
with a brand new cab. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about what this cab's all about, because this is extremely different than what it used to be.
Yep.
So
this is what we call our PLMI tractors. So they're kind of our next generation of precision tractors. So we've got it on the T8 here. We've got it on the T9 that's over there pulling the Degelman.
Sure.
The 7HD's just got launched from Farm Progress. So it's this technology is making its way through our whole product line,
Sure.
essentially. But when you start getting up into the cab, the thing you're going to notice is just this brand new Sidewinder Ultra armrest. So we've always had very good ergonomics in the tractors, and we just take it one step farther with this brand new armrest. It's kind of funny, I got to sit through a lot of developmental stuff with it, and we went up to Michigan, and to you and I, a button is a button is a button, right? But they had probably 3 or 4 tables, 8 foot long, of just different buttons.
Really?
Different feel, different texture, different press, how it reacted. And ultimately, with all the customer feedback, this is what they came up with.
very cool.
Going with our new Sidewinder Ultra armrest, we've got our new IntelliView 12 display. So all that really means is the 12-inch display, corner to corner. Nice thing about this display is, one, just all the new technology in it, but 2, it's an optically bonded screen. So like your smartphone, if you guys have been around the IntelliView 4s, and that, you know, you get the sun glare on them, they get hard to read. Well, with this optically bonded screen, that goes away.
Sure.
So now you can read it regardless of where the sun's at. Anything.
Very cool.
Yep. Some other cool functionality on this tractor. You know, we've got our row of paddle switches here for our hydraulics. We can actually come into the monitor and actually move these around. So if you like them one way as an operator and I like them differently, it's pretty easy. We can actually just start moving these colors around. So if we watch these colors here, we go to configurable controls. If I actually want paddle A to control valve 6, you can see that changed to purple now versus red.
Oh yeah, that is neat.
And so, you know, in our operation, you know, grain cart work, I prefer to have my valves, where my slide gate and my fold separated, so I don't accidentally do them. But there's better operators than me out there, and they'll put them right next to each other. So you can customize it that way. You know, once you get up into like Canada, big 4-wheel drives, and you're doing mega flow pumps with 2 pumps, this tool will allow you to hook hoses up wherever you want in the back for splitting the flows between the 2 pumps, but I can control them whatever's most comfortable.
That's very cool.
For me.
Very cool.
So just a cool thing there. Another cool thing on the armrest here is you'll see we've got these numbered buttons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. So on those in the armrest, or in the monitor here, we can come and configure all of those as well.
Sure.
So there's like 125 different functions that you can program onto there. So you know, we've got our telephone answer over here, but if you're a guy that doesn't like to take your hand off the multifunction handle, we can have it answer your telephone.
Oh, wow.
We can have it switch between different light modes. You can have it engage front wheel assist. I mean, any number of things to completely customize the operator's experience.
Sure.
So what guys will find as they're sitting through this is they're like, well, there's a lot of ways to do anything with it. There is. There's about 3 ways to do any one thing.
Yep.
Because not all operators are the same.
Yep.
And since this is a global product too, the way we use it here in the U.S. is different than the way they use it overseas and how they would like to see it run as well.
Right.
Do I guess anything else that you want to?
I mean, just hitting on, I'm pretty familiar with the previous T8 cab. You got rid of a post over here.
Yep.
Right, so the view from the cab is better. It looks like storage is way upgraded.
So we've got storage here. We actually have power outlets back there. Power outlets back here in this corner underneath the iPad there.
Yeah, that is awesome.
You got, well, so this is brand new as well. You've got your new monitor mount bar here.
Sure.
So it's now RAM mounts. So makes it changing out monitors really easy. You can actually just slide these RAM mounts off the front, slide new one on, or, you know, just hook up. And then you've got power, second display hookup, radar, all that's right there.
And I can't tell you from a guy that runs, you know, precision planting and Trimble stuff. I mean, just to have that accessible it's huge.
Yep.
It's huge. It's so very, very cool.
And so that's all the cool new stuff in the cab. There's some things we can't see just from sitting here even. And I don't know if you're going inside to look at Cooper's TV, but he's actually watching all of these tractors live from in there. So we've got a couple cool things here. So one, update manager, you know, we can get software sent remotely to us now, not having to have the technician come out, hook up, anything like that. We've also got what we call remote assistant services there. So instead of the technician coming out, hooking into our EST ports back here, they can just, a customer can hit that button, it'll generate a code. He's already on the phone with his technician. Technician types that code into the computer, connects it. And so he can diagnose and troubleshoot, hopefully figure out what's wrong with the tractor. One, maybe he doesn't need to come out at all, but 2, maybe he knows what parts he needs to bring to get you up without having to make 2 trips or anything like that. The other cool thing that we have to initiate from the computer side is we can actually do screen sharing. So if we were inside on that computer, I can say, hey, I want to see this T8 screen and basically walk the operator through something. And so it'll pop up with a dialogue here that says, hey, so-and-so is trying to access your tractor, are you okay with it? You hit okay, and they'll see exactly what you see here. Wow. So they're not allowed to push any buttons just for safety, but they get a highlighter and they can walk you through and say, push here, do this, do that, and walk you through. And all of that comes standard with the new PLMI cabs. So it's kind of a technology overhaul for the New Holland brand.
Like I said, the old cab to this is, it's a complete, tear the cab off and start from the ground up. So very cool.
And then something a lot of guys don't think about is if the cab is quiet, but if it's noisy, guys notice. Well, what's different about this cab is if you were sitting outside, you know, the engine's noisy, the fan's noisy. However, we went to a laminated front glass now. So just like your pickup truck, it's not going to shatter if it gets a chip. It's just going to put a little chip in it and not shatter. But the other thing that does for us, in addition to that, is just the sound deadening. So it actually makes the cab quieter. And I don't know if engineering meant to do that because nobody like internally ever promoted that to us. It was actually just on a customer ride and drive. They're like, what'd you do different to that cab? It's quieter. We're like, nothing. We didn't change anything. Well, come to find out that laminated front glass also blocks that sound.
And I can attest to that, having, you know, many T8s in the past. It is extremely quiet and comfortable in here. So awesome. Thanks, Reese. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you.
All right, guys, I just got back from tillage days, and it was super awesome to run that equipment, number one, see all that, those tillage tools in action, and hear all about them. So I got to give a big shout out to Swiderski for putting that on. They do that every year for us in this area. Jason from Kuhn Krause, Cody from Swiderski, Kevin from Swiderski. I will put a link in the description below to all those equipment manufacturers, Degelman Great Plains, Kuhn Krause, New Holland. Reese from New Holland was super awesome. We just touched the surface there a little bit on that cab and that T8. So that was really, really neat. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and we'll see you next time.